All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're taking a look at the Japanese concept of Ikigai. But forget abstract philosophy for a minute. We're going to treat this as a practical, hands-on toolkit for your career. Think of this as a way to build a real framework for finding genuine purpose in your professional life.
You know, it's the big one, isn't it? What is the meaning of my life? In our crazy, always-on work culture, that question can pop up when you least expect it. Maybe when you're burning the midnight oil on a deadline, or maybe just in a quiet moment between meetings. It's this very modern search for something more, something beyond just the next item on your to-do list. And if you've ever felt that pit in your stomach on a Sunday evening, well, there's actually a name for that. Sunday neurosis. It's that specific kind of dread, that feeling of emptiness that can creep in when the weekend's over and Monday is staring you down. Honestly, it's a huge sign that we're looking for a real reason to get out of bed in the morning, and that is exactly what Ikigai is all about.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll touch on why so many of us are searching for meaning. Then we'll define what Ikigai actually is. After that, we'll get into the super practical four-circle framework. And finally, we'll talk about how to bring it into your daily life with flow states and focusing on rituals instead of just goals. Sound good? Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the big picture here. This feeling, this search for what's next, it's not just you. It's a collective thing happening right now. We're all pushed to achieve more and more, but that deep-down search for actual meaning in our work, it's stronger than ever. So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, this leads us straight to Ikigai. It's this amazing Japanese framework that doesn't just give you an answer, it gives you a whole new way to think about what purpose even means.
To put it simply, your Ikigai is your reason for being. If you look at the Japanese characters, it's a combination of Iki, which means life, and Gai, which means value or worth. So it's about finding the value in your life. And look, this isn't some huge, untouchable destiny. It's way more practical. It's the thing that gives your day meaning. It's your reason for jumping out of bed in the morning.
Okay, so how in the world do you find this? This is where Ikigai goes from a nice idea to a really powerful practical tool. We can break it all down with a simple, but honestly pretty profound four-circle framework.
And here's where we roll up our sleeves. The whole framework is built on these four fundamental questions. Think of them as four doors you have to walk through. First, what do you genuinely love to do? Second, what are you actually good at? Third, what does the world need from you? And last but not least, what can you get paid for? The answers you come up with, that's the raw material for finding your purpose.
And this Venn diagram, this is where the magic happens. It shows you exactly how it all fits together. See, your Ikigai isn't in just one of these circles. It's right there in the middle, where all four of them overlap. Think about a great teacher, for instance. They might love sharing knowledge, be fantastic at making complex ideas simple, meet the world's need for education, and get paid for it. That sweet spot, that intersection of your passion, your mission, your profession, and your vocation, that is where true professional fulfillment is hiding.
Now, finding your Ikigai on a diagram is one thing, but living it, day in and day out, that's a whole other ballgame. And this is where the idea of flow becomes so important. Flow is how you turn this big idea of purpose into something you can actually feel and experience at work every single day.
You know, Aristotle was really onto something here, and it connects directly to Ikigai. Purpose isn't something you just find one day and you're done. No, it's a state that you create through your daily habits and actions. It's about getting so completely absorbed in what you're doing that you lose all track of time. That's what excellence and flow is all about.
And just look at the difference here. When you're in a state of flow, your mind is focused, you're living in the present, and your creativity just skyrockets. That little voice of self-criticism, it disappears. Now, compare that to the constant state of distraction so many of us live in at work. Our minds are all over the place, we're worried about the past or the future, and we're constantly judging ourselves. The choice is pretty clear, right?
So how do we get more of that flow into our workday? Here are four super simple but really powerful techniques you can literally start tomorrow. Try tech fasting, no screens for the first hour and last hour of your day. Use the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of focused work, 5-minute break. Batch your boring tasks, like emails, and just knock them all out at once. And create little rituals to signal to your brain, hey, it's time to focus. All right. This brings us to our last piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it might be the most important. To make Ikigai something that lasts in your professional life, you have to make a bit of a mental shift, away from obsessing over huge, far-off goals and toward embracing the daily process.
This Japanese proverb just says it all, doesn't it? It's all about resilience. Chasing your Ikigai is not going to be a perfect, straight line. You're gonna have setbacks. But when you're focused on the process, on the journey itself, it makes it so much easier to get back up, learn from what happened, and just keep going.
And if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. True satisfaction at work doesn't just come from hitting some big target. It comes from the quality of your everyday experience, from those hours you spend totally lost in what you're doing, feeling energized and alive. Happiness is in the doing, not just in the done. So let's wrap this up by looking at some wisdom from people who live their Ikigai every single day, the centenarians of Okinawa. Their philosophy gives us a kind of blueprint. Stay active, never fully retire from what gives you purpose. Be present in your work. Step outside and reconnect with nature to recharge. And, most importantly, once you have a sense of what your Ikigai is, follow it.
And we'll end with this incredible thought from the psychiatrist Viktor Frankl. If you're listening to this and thinking, I still don't know what my Ikigai is, that is totally okay. The search itself is a worthwhile mission. So don't worry about finding the perfect answer right away. Just begin the journey of discovery.